okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay? Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same.
Good morning, you're listening to Rouser Radio out of the White Hart Hotel in the centre of Lewis, and no man could come into a happier place in the morning. Hi Wes, hi Jane. Lovely people.
Will choose to stay through all the pain. I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
And it is pouring down outside, absolutely teeming down, so don't go out without a coat or an umbrella or something of the sort. And on and off, it's likely to be that way throughout the. Hang on, let's turn that down so you can hear me. It's likely to be like that throughout the day. Right, this is Rouser Radio out of Lewis, and we are doing our 3/4 of an hour or so just before Mirador Television comes on at 8:30. A feast this morning. We've got Suzanne Mouchot from New York. We've got Jane Watkins from Hastings. We've got Fergus Wood with the wine. We've got Sarah Fitch Hayes with art. We've got a whole feast of people for you this morning. Well, as you fade away, a nice little entry to the morning gets you going, doesn't it? And yet, by the same token, a lovely sentiment, as you fade away, by Nefex. Aha! Right, so we're booming onto the mic here. Let's adjust that a little bit before we get tucked in. All right, it is the 25th day of August, 2022, and it is 7:35. So for some of you, you can turn over and go back to sleep for another half hour or so, and for others is, wow, I'm late. But don't get too excited, because outside is absolutely filthy. It is pouring down. Pouring down. Isn't that great? Well, I think it's great. Apparently, lightning lit up the sky this morning at about 4 o'clock, and I was in a land of Nod. I did wake up about a few minutes to 3 o'clock, I went and sat and made myself a cup of Ovaltine and had a bicky, naughty boy. Went back to bed and didn't wake up until 5 to 6. So I slept through all the fireworks or the light show, and I'm afraid that I missed the whole lot. Never mind, never mind. Let us first of all, in 5 straight rows, let's play a little music, our type of music, the Mini Vandals, before we actually launch into the front pages of the newspapers this morning. Right, 7:38, and we are going to get cracking in reality now. Is we are awake and ready to fly. That was in 5 straight rows by the Mini Vandals. I love those Mini Vandals. They go, it's a really good stuff. Get you going first thing in the morning. Listening to Rouser Radio from the White Hart Hotel in Lewes, in the United Kingdom, not Lewes in Delaware. Although Lewes in Delaware we have a lot to do with, and is a great little town. Is a great little town. Who's who in the world? Let's take a look at the newspaper headlines because Boris is back. He took a trip to Ukraine, and I'm rather pleased that he did because we were tending to forget Ukraine. And the reason is that the rest of the EU are ready to water down their support. And Boris went there yesterday, first of all, to give support to Zelensky, but also to say to the rest of the EU countries, look, endure the fuel bill pain to defeat Putin. Don't give in now. We've done the hard part. If we give in now, what we're going to do is to give in to this man, and our life will change inexorably for the worse and forever. A good call from Boris. Well done, Boris. You know, the one thing that he does show on the world stage anyway is leadership, which I'm afraid that the rest that we've got up there in Westminster don't. My views on them is well known, and I don't particularly like any of them or have give them much credence at all. Not a happy bunch of people. Pictures of Boris Johnson with President Zelensky feature on the front page of several papers following the Prime Minister's visit to Kiev to mark Ukraine's Independence Day. The Express leads with words from the Prime Minister, who said that the UK must endure the pain of rising fuel bills to defeat Russia. Right, I tend to agree with that. The Daily Telegraph follows on with that. Johnson, we're paying higher bills. Ukraine is paying in blood. Oh, a good headline, right? That gets everybody going. We're paying higher bills. Ukraine is paying in blood, says the Daily Telegraph. Its coverage of Boris Johnson's comment while in Kiev says the PM called for the UK's allies not to waver in support for the invaded country. Hear, hear. The Guardian, warning of catastrophe at Ukraine nuclear plant. The Guardian gets into the mainstream again this morning instead of going off at a tangent. It warns that a plan has been drawn up to disconnect Europe's largest nuclear plant from Ukraine's power grid. Paper says the implication could risk a catastrophic failure, and world leaders have called for the site to be demilitarized. In other words, don't bomb this place because the results could be awful. We will get justice for our live. That's the Metro. And that goes on for the 9-year-old child who was shot in the gangland war. Apparently, they have lifted the man who was being pursued, presumably part of the gang culture, but they still haven't found the man who fired the shot. And one wonders whether, in fact, there's some funny business going on, since the gangland is. What is it, Omerta? The vow of silence. I just forget. My links to mafia have long gone, and I don't know what the current sayings are. But let's see. The Sun, gun killer's target arrested for the sake of little Olivier. Talk, and the Sun shows a picture of Olivia. And also of Joseph Ney, who has been arrested by police and was the intended target of the gunman who shot the little girl. The Financial Times, cost of doing business crisis looms as company fuel bills rise fourfold. In other words, our corporate sector is being hit by huge bills because of the facing of the rising costs, which ultimately, of course, will be passed on to us. You can bet. So the cost of doing business is, according to the Financial Times, says that many businesses will renegotiate their electricity and gas rates in October, with commercial energy bills set to rise. That's another deadline for an energy cap. I can hear the ghost this morning. It's rather nice. I love that ghost. When I come in, if there's nobody here, it smiles at me and whispers to me and walks across the roof. It's sort of fun. The Daily Mirror, on the eve of the energy hike, the whole country speaks with one voice, but still we are ignored, is what it says is freeze our bills now. The Mirror focuses on the cost of energy ahead of the expected rise in the price cap this week. Its front pages feature the headlines of 36 people and the headline, the whole country speaks with one voice, but still we are ignored. Freeze our bills now. A bit more complicated than they would make out, but nonetheless a certain sympathy. The Daily Mail, fast track to deport Albanian boat immigrants after we had the biggest number ever in a day step foot yesterday on our beaches from the little boats. Illegal Albanians, but also any illegal immigrant. And now, instead of Rwanda, which fell foul of legal challenges, they are going to try and send these arrivals back to where they came from, back to Albania. And the headline in the Mail says, Pretty strikes a deal in a new bid to send illegal channel arrivals home within hours. But can she deliver? Well, why not? If the will is there, you can get these things done. The thing is that our entire governance structure is split about wokes and non-wokes, and what is right wing and what is left wing, and it's all nonsense. You are there to look after the electorate. It doesn't matter what colour our politics. You are there to serve us. And for God's sake, will you please get on with it? Because I see very little coming out of any level of governance, and particularly at the civil service level, the executive level, is very little will to do anything at any level to make things easier. Oh, for themselves. Well, yeah, it's easy, isn't it? Draw up another form and sign it. Right, the Times, alarm over Truss raid on the NHS. Right, that's Liz Truss has said in her campaigning that she plans to divert 10 billion a year from the NHS into social care. And what the paper says is that would slam the brakes on efforts to tackle waiting lists in the National Health Service. Alarm that money is going to be taken out of the NHS budget. I'm always ambivalent about that as well, because so much is spent on administration and silly nonsenses like the hub, the computer which tells you on a Tuesday that you've got an appointment on the Monday. The Eye, Labour's money troubles deepen. Oh, the Eye is not known for any partisanship, I don't think. I mean, it goes after everybody like ourselves. And it says Labour's money troubles deepen. Well, I didn't know that Labour had got money troubles until I read this, but the paper leads with news that Sir Keir Starmer is forcing his shadow cabinet to stop fundraising for their open office, for their own offices, to help with cash troubles faced by the party. Oh dear, they've been naughty, they've been overspending. And the Daily Star. Here is my lovely Daily Star. Hard rain's gonna fall, it says. Some filthy weather is on the way. It's calling it hard rain. The summer weather is about to be interrupted with some filthy weather expected, says the Star. Well, it's arrived as far as I'm concerned. It is absolutely peeing down outside. Now, there's a bit of excitement on our high street because there's some filming taking place today. I have no idea what the filming is about. At some stage, I shall wander out when the activity gets going. But what they've got is, at the moment, they've got portaloos there parked outside the hotel in the street. And they went through the motions. They went to the council and said, we want to park these things. And the council said, divvy up some money and you can have the parking spots. And that's what they have. And then I was talking to Jane, the beautiful Jane, who greets me every morning that I come in here. Just a wonderful, wonderful lady. Lovely, beautiful. She's always very stylish. And believe me, I am the luckiest man, because coming to work here in the White Hart Hotel is a pleasure that I cannot describe. You come into a wonderfully warm atmosphere. Everybody is welcoming. Everybody has got a good word. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's getting ready to greet the guests as they get up. It's a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. You couldn't ask for a better atmosphere for an office to come into, believe me. But anyway, Jane doesn't know quite what's happening outside. But I was saying to her that at one time in my career, I did extra work on TV movies and actually movies. I would meet at the designated place with a lot of other extras, get onto a bus, and they would take us to the filming site, and we would get off, and the first thing you saw was the catering van, and the breakfast would be sizzling away. and you would come off the bus and go and have breakfast. Normally, even though you were there at 8 o'clock in the morning, the filming wouldn't start until about 11 o'clock by the time they'd finished messing around with everything. So you would have a really first-class breakfast, a really first-class breakfast. I wonder if they're going to get a first-class breakfast here, because I am going to go out and pretend to be I'm going to pretend to be an extra on this film if they haven't got a catering van. Wow, it'd be terrific if they had. It all looks a bit locked up at the moment. But we'll try and keep an eye on it. We'll try and find out what's going on. Who's filming, why they're filming, where they're filming. Oh, yes. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. It's probably already on social media. I just haven't looked at the social media stuff. Right, okay. Leaving hard rain is going to fall in the Daily Star. Let's see. Let's go with the Mini Vandals again. Down with your get up. Right, it is time to get up, get up, get up, get up. Down with your get up. The Mini Vandals. Looking at the weather, it's going to be a little less warm than yesterday, but not too bad. 22 degrees, and the forecast is for thundery showers and light winds. And I have to say that the thundery showers are here already, and if they're going to last the rest of the day, it looks as if they're going to last until about 4 o'clock this afternoon, so most of the day. So do be prepared when you go out, because it's not pleasant, not at all pleasant. It is very, very heavy rain in the main. So I'm just making sure, I'm just checking. Just checking to make sure I got it right. Yes, I have. That's right. Okay, let's Let's catch up on every little statistic, shall we? So, 22 is the temperature today. Heavy rain around, so dress appropriately and accordingly. It's always difficult. I put on a fairly heavy sort of overcoat this morning or jacket, and it is warm. So I have to be warm for the sake of keeping the rain out. But it's not a rain that you can just put a light jacket on. It is heavy, heavy stuff. It's what I call straight up and down rain. No wind, a very light breeze, but not enough to actually drive the rain. So it comes down right on top of your head and not driving into you, which is one mercy. However, now I can hear laughter out in the reception. So, as usual, this at this time of the day, the White Hart starts the day in a very, very nice mood. Even though it is pouring down with rain outside, everybody is in a very, very good mood, and let's hope that they stay that way and they keep it that way, and there aren't things going on in our society that are going to dampen that mood. Oh, yeah, I'm in a fairly good mood this morning. I woke up a couple of times during the night, but here I am. Here I am indeed, ready to go tearing on into the day. This is Rouser Radio, where we actually play a couple of bits and numbers and give you some idea of what's going on in the world while we prepare Mirador Television to go on the air at 8:30, and it's going to be a busy one today. We have four or five contributors, guests. If I can trap anybody from the filming outside, if they start, mind you, it may be that they're not going to start early enough for us. But if I can, I shall haul them in and get them to tell us what's going on. And why not? We need a little bit of. There's somebody there in a yellow jacket. So perhaps. Wes, do we know what's going on? No, Wes disappeared through the door before I could get him to tell me. There's a lot of chatter out there. Oh, excitement on the high street. If you want to be a viewer, what's the word for a voyeur? To see if there are any stars coming along this morning, then do venture out, but you venture out at your risk because it is peeing down, absolutely bouncing off the pavement, and not at all a pleasant day in that, and it isn't going to get much better by the look of things. Although the little icon does suggest we might see the clouds break and a bit of sun come through. But it's going to be quite warm still. It's still going to be 22 degrees, 2 degrees less than yesterday, but still plenty of warmth around. There, I just had another sip of coffee, and that gets you going. I can remember when I was in Kosovo, and I was at the army, the British Army barracks, and the colonel came in and he said, "Somebody has just offered me decaf coffee. I need coffee that is going to give me a kick in the morning." So I don't think that this is decaf. I think that this coffee will give me a kick in the morning, and I hope that it'll see us along through to midday today. Mm. And indeed, it is a pleasant sort of thing, easing our way into the day. A pleasant sort of thing. But the headlines are suggesting that Boris Johnson in Ukraine is asking us to bear the pain to support Ukraine. And he goes a bit further than that. He said if Putin is to be defeated, if Russia is to be defeated, then we need to suffer pain. And of course, the fact of the matter is, to defeat Hitler, we suffered a lot of pain. But are we, as a people now tough enough. We were back then. We were tough. By golly, were we tough. But are we tough enough today? Because we've had a soft life for 20 years, 30 years. And that doesn't, it's people that, oh, I want it the way it was. They moan and they groan and they feel sorry for themselves, and it's always somebody else's fault. It may be that Boris is actually whistling in the wind. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We may well, we may well find that we are tougher than we think. I'm not holding out any great hopes, but I think that we may be tougher than we think, and we may well say, yes, let's dig in. Let's not abandon our friends in Ukraine. Let's not abandon those people who are living in privation, or for that matter, daily wonder whether their home, their residence will be the next one to get a shell direct, and they lose their family. Well. Okay, it's 2 minutes past 8. And just to remind you, it's 22 degrees, heavy downpours, a moderate breeze. So that's what it's like outside in this particular area anyway. I think we've got time to play one more before we actually go. If we've got, well, yeah, let's go with the Mini Vandals again. Kind of a party. Kind of a party with the Mini Vandals. Just took a quick look at the back pages, the sports pages, the usual obscene figures being battered around 60 million for this guy and 75 million for that, and will they go, and petulance and so on. However, in the inside back page is the preparation for the second test, which begins today against South Africa, and the paper is going rah for our cricketers, who actually dismally lost the first test by innings and 12 runs or something like that. I'm not far off in that estimate. So yes, let's hope, because they gave us such scintillating displays in the early part of the summer, and for us to now fall as the season starts to draw to a close is a bit sad, really. But there we are. The cricketers get cracking today. The footballers, as usual, are full of petulance. I won't pay here, I won't pay there. And I was very sensitive. I'm very sensitive. While they were paying me 50 million a year, I got all upset. Oh, give me strength, God's sake! And no wonder is you watch football on the telly and you think I could do better than that. Probably couldn't, but that's what you think. But, mm, it has become such a strategic game now. The rough and tumble has gone out of it. Oh, they trip one another off left, right, and centre and get yellow cards and red cards and all that sort of stuff. But at one time, it was a robust game. Let's put it that. A robust game. Now it's a more strategic game with the manager playing a much greater part. And when I kicked a little ball around when I was little, we were lucky to get 11 players onto the pitch, let alone have a manager, for God's sake. And whoever the manager was wouldn't have known anything about football at all. And it's God help us. God help us. What sort of game it's become. It is 8:07. You are listening to Rouser Radio out of the White Hart Hotel in Lewes in the United Kingdom. And I hope that you will join us, although we talk about local things. Well, we don't actually. We talk about the newspaper headlines and what's happening. But we do that in the context of the fact that it's peeing down with rain outside, and where you are, it may not be. So please forgive us if we do revert to local stuff, but it's not parochial because the weather throughout the country is going to be a bit iffy today. A bit iffy. So iffy. And we really have to. What's the time? It's 8:08. Oh, goodness gracious me! It's 8:08, and so we've got about 6 minutes left before we dive off. Let me just give you a rundown of who's going to be on Mirador Television this morning. You can find Mirador, look for Mirador Television Lewes or Lewes Television Mirador. There are several Facebook and YouTube outlets where you can find us. And this morning is going to be quite exciting because we're going to have, I think, up to about 6 different people on so that we can have a good debate. Yesterday it was really first class because we had Stuart Dolby and Max Hurd, salt and pepper, as it were, in terms of age, and they were very feisty and gave us a good display. A good display of what our television stations should be all about is a free and unfettered thought. Say what you like, as long as you don't libel anybody, and then fight it out. Fight it out in public, not in private, and that's what they did. And I got into the act now and again, but generally speaking, it was their day, and a fine day it was. All right, 8:08, 8:09. Let's just your love from young Logos, and that will see us through. there we are, your love from Jung Logos. And it is now 11 minutes past 8 and almost time for us to go. Just casting an eye on the inside pages of the Mail this morning, and there's a lovely story coming out of France. Apparently, French lifeguards and beach attendants and so on and so forth aren't there, so their beaches aren't open. Why? Because they've been given summer holidays. It's summer job, summer holidays. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. And of course, that probably came from the French civil service. It's probably just as bad as ours. They just don't think things through. And as a consequence, they get themselves into a right bloody muck. This is Rouser Radio on the 25th day of August 2022. We have been broadcasting with the weather outside lousy and with a severe weather warning in place from the Met Office. It's going to hit 22 degrees, which isn't too bad, but because of the cloud and the rain, is 2 degrees less than it was yesterday. And yesterday was very, very pleasant. Very pleasant indeed. But it's not going to be pleasant out there today. Make sure that you wrap up and you're ready for heavy rain. Boy, was it heavy when I came out this morning. 13 minutes past 8 o'clock, and it's time for us to say goodbye. Do join us on Mirador Television at 8:30. You can find it on almost all social medias, and we look forward to having you with us. A whole host of stars this morning is Suzanne Mucho from New York, Fergus Wood with his wine, Jane Watkins letting us know what's going on in Hastings, Sarah Fitch Hayes is coming in with her art work. It's great stuff, really great stuff. So there we go. That's what's coming up on Mirador Television, apart from having me there and fighting with whoever I can fight with. And so it is 8:14 and time to say goodbye. And we'll, if we can find our, there you are, as we fade away. Here we go, we're fading away.
And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, 'cause every